Hello and welcome to What's in Your Wardrobe, and today I've got Gary, who is the owner of UZYMEI, and it's a t-shirt brand and you need to buy one, and he's going to tell us all about it right now.
So, UZYMEI, basically it's a Jamaican patois, broken English for you see me. The idea came from just my birth, being born in England, growing up in London, born and bred. First generation, my parents were originally from Jamaica. And it's a culmination of both my British culture and my Jamaican culture, basically, and the counterculture that's within both of those cultures.
I love that.
So it basically jumps in all my tastes to do with art, music, style and fashion, and basically all those cultures, both those cultures, have been very prolific in me growing up.
Yeah, cool.
Because my parents came here in the early 50s and they came from Jamaica, and it was quite funny because at the time growing up in London, as a young child growing up in the centre of London, the music diaspora that was going on there was basically, it was a lot of when I was a child, there was I grew up around a lot of reggae music.
Yeah, I love reggae.
Yeah, a lot of soul, a lot of reggae. But then as I became got to a teenager, then a lot of the counterculture scenes were coming in. So you had punk.
Yeah.
There was ska, which was a culmination of reggae. And then that moved into punk. And then basically punk bands like The Clash, you know, the Sex Pistols, they were like maybe about 7 or 8 years older than me, so I kind of came in at the tail end. So a lot of my friends who were older than me, they went through that phase of being punks.
Yeah, right.
But a lot of my friends who were my age, they came in the early stage where they were like rude boys, so they were on the level where they were dressing very sharp, listening to a lot of ska music and reggae, and a little bit of punk music, and then that went straight into pop. But most of my growing up, I listened to a lot of reggae, which was the core music that most of these bands, they were using the bassline riffs, like the bands like the Sex Pistols, bands like the Clash, they were using reggae riffs when they first started their music in their bands.
And do you still listen to reggae?
Yeah,
is there
100%.
a big reggae scene in Melbourne?
Yeah, it's quite funny. Like when I first came here, I didn't really know anything. Yeah. So because I would just listen to reggae DJs in London. I would just tune into the shows, BBC shows, with my favourite DJs, whatever. But then I came here, and it's steadily since I've been here. Like there's 1 or 2 nights a week, literally, that they have. Big,
I love to go and see some reggae. I haven't seen any reggae
for
ages.
It's quite funny. I took our son to his first open air thing, and it was really good. It was free. It was in Fed Square.
Yeah,
and they
right.
had 3 sound systems. So one sound system, all Melbourne sound systems, they had one sound system that played for 2 hours, and then you'd walk over to the other side of Federation Square and another sound system played for 2 hours. And then the pièce de résistance of it was they had a sound from London who played on the main stage, and they played for 2 hours, and it was absolutely amazing. It was so cool.
Fantastic.
It was so cool because I've gone to certain reggae dances in Melbourne, like reggae nights, but not kind of had it open air on that level.
Yeah,
they do a thing in Williamstown once a year, which is a Jamaican festival. Somewhere in Williamstown, it's almost like an enclosed dock area that I've never gone to, and it's usually they have a couple of sound systems there, and it's usually Jamaican food trucks. I think it's changed a lot because what's happened is a lot of second generation Londoners like myself who have come over. They've kind of met Australian girls, or they've come back to Australia, and they've brought their kind of music with them, and they've kind of mixed in with everything else.
So they're musos.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so quite a few of my friends are DJs, basically.
Yeah, cool.
And they're pretty good DJs in the Melbourne music scene on that level. Listening to the music and then taking on the kind of the style and elegance of Melbourne, because it's like being in London, but a London when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because it's still as opposed to Sydney, Melbourne's still got that kind of quirky, kind of a bit avant-garde-ish, a bit kind of, you know.
Yeah.
You can still see people have got their, youngsters have got their individual style, even though the internet's here, everybody's dressing a bit like a robot, but you still see.
That's so true.
It's true. You can still see that there is certain groups
little
of
pockets
people,
and stuff.
Yeah, where, you know, it's gone full circle, like watching the next generation now coming up wearing stuff that was of my generation.
Yeah.
But it's vintage now.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And labels of my generation that is vintage on that level, which is.
And you've got a fair few vintage tees.
Yeah.
You don't have any of those here today, do you?
No.
Yeah.
No, I was going to bring some, but
yeah.
That could be, that's
another thing.
Another thing. Yeah, because that's very interesting.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Yeah, because I've been printing for like 39 years.
Yeah, wow.
So I started printing pre-computer, before everything was just done by hand.
You do all these yourself?
Yeah, so a lot of this is done. Done the old school method, so it's just cut and paste.
Yeah, right. You don't do these on computer?
No. So I use the computer now. Basically, if I'm like, all these portraits are designed. There's an app and a computer that I've got that I use, that I design these characters. I create them and I just cut and paste them, put them together, and the whole idea behind this was to build an array of characters for my imaginary world called Gambolia. So these are all characters that live in Gambolia, and basically the head of the Gambolesian race is this young creature here called Sivo. My star sign, Aries, is around. Sivo is Ovis backwards, which is where that's basically the biological name of all rams. They all come under rams, goats come under Ovis, loose roll.
Oh, okay.
So Ovis backwards is Sivo. He's the number one leader of the gang.
And this is Gambolia here.
Yep.
And is this in Gambolia?
No, Port Fairy. but
pretending.
But
it's
again, yes. Yes. So most of the photographs that I take, all scenic shots, are all in the Victorian diaspora.
Yeah, right.
So I go out with my camera, and if we go out somewhere, I'll take a beach shot of something, or if I'm in Japan, or I'll take a photograph of, like, say, a 7-Eleven sign, and I'll take photographs of anywhere, and then I'll just use them.
Yeah, fantastic. Within your so it's
world.
kind of like a collage.
Yeah.
You're making collages.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
I'm making a new race out of characters, but it's all collage.
Yeah.
And the only things I use the computer now and again, but most of it's mainly, I use the computer on a minimal level, but it's mainly the photocopier.
And does your son get into this too?
Yeah. Well, I kind of dragged him into it. Yeah. Basically.
But so he loves art?
Yeah,
good.
He's very, very creative. He's very creative, and he kind of went through that phase of, as a kid growing up, drew from the age of like 2 or 3 up until he was about 9 or 10 when computers came in. Yeah. And he became an avid gamer. The project was a project to kind of wean him off that. Gave him the option of helping to design the website. He's like, yeah, I'll get around to it. Never happened, so I got someone else in to design the website.
Yeah, right.
And he would watch me while the guy was in there and say, how much are you paying?
Yeah.
And I goes, you didn't want to do it, so you don't need to worry about it.
Exactly.
Darling, don't worry about it, darling. You didn't want to do it. No, but how much is you paying him? I goes, you didn't want to do it. So the project worked because by the time he finished, my friend who'd done the website, finished the website, Marcel looked at the website and he's like, no, I don't like the way it looks. And I goes, oh, so what are you going to do? He goes, I'm going to change it. I goes, you've never done a website before. So he just went on YouTube as they usually do, and picked it up like AI kids of these days. Within about 7 or 8 days, he knew how to read
That's
it and
fantastic.
completely done the website.
Yeah.
So he's got into it on that level, and he's like he's my business partner. He's given me advice on how the new generation, how they consume products.
Yeah.
How they want to consume products, as opposed to me, where basically I'm just like, you put it there, it sells. But he's like, no, you've got to do it this way. On this side of the water, now I'm pushing it out. So come summer, it'll be getting out there. Yeah. And then in culmination, over the next 5 or 6 weeks, my brother-in-law, who's my ex-brother-in-law, because he's divorced from my sister. He's been printing the same amount of time as me. We worked together for many, many years. So he's going to be doing the English level. So he's sending him designs, and he'll just be basically printing over there and then giving them out and sending them out to people over there.
Yeah, perfect.
So it's because of the cost of posting and freight, it's just easier, because I know so many people in London who are on that level that it's more convenient for him to do it over there.
Oh yeah, perfect. And you're making a, what is this called?
It's a zine. So
and I've never heard of what a zine was.
Because basically, well, the reality of it is it's like a DIY version of a magazine. I need to explain it. I want people to understand the backbone of it. I want people to, because there's going to be a lot of prints, and there's going to be a lot of sayings and slogans on the shirts that basically people won't understand.
So it's kind of just explains your story, basically.
Yeah. So
that's going to be fantastic.
So there's a little directory. A lot of the stuff is like photographs. This is from Jamaica. A lot of the stuff and photographs I've taken over in Jamaica, Japan. Depending wherever I travel, I just take photographs. If people purchase a t-shirt, then they'll get a copy, just to get it out there. That was the first design I did, and basically it was my combination of, I love forms. I've got a problem with these creatures, basically. So I wanted to create a coat of arms that basically could be the UZYMEI Coat of Arms, because I was looking at the royal coat of arms, and I was thinking to myself, I need a coat of arms. I need a crest, something that basically says this is official. So I created my version of the coat of arms, basically.
That's fantastic.
And then my motto is be wild, be free, just be. So I decided to put that in there as well. I'll do another version of this, but I'll tone down the colours, because what I've understood now is that basically, as a person like myself who loves colour, a lot of people don't really like super bright, opaque colours. A lot of people are conservative. Yeah. So with the next drop that I'm doing, I'm diluting a lot of the colours. So I'm not making them too out there. Yeah. But I'll just save the out there kind of designs for when I do my one-off pieces. I collect Champion crossweave blank sweatshirts. They're the quintessential sports sweatshirts. Most labels now, they've taken their silhouette off the Champion sweatshirt. Basically, and they've actually tried to make it like that, because with the Champion reverse weave sweatshirts, as opposed to the weave on material going down, Champion turn the weave.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So basically, when you wash it, it doesn't come out. All their sweats, the weave goes across.
Okay.
Basically, as opposed to going down.
Oh yeah, I see.
Basically, so when you wash them, it doesn't twist. It basically says that, and I mean they created that like in the 1900s when they first started as a sports brand, and every other label now, they basically copy.
Oh, so are you doing all your sweatshirts on the
so all the one-off all the one-off ones. Yeah. These are one-off ones that I have a page on my website, just one-off ones. That basically I'll just create something. I'll just basically create something and then I'll put it on there and you can just buy it. Limited runs. There'll be 1 or 2 of each design. Yeah, most of these are vintage. I've had these like 10, 15, 20 years. Now they've been done. Most of these have been done like 7 or 8 years ago. Out of many, one people. That is the Jamaican motto. And this is another character called Elion. He's part elephant and part lion. This is what I put. This is something I made up. Harmless, perishable, living organism. Ensure worldwide exposure. It's quite funny. Like I created this teddy bear, and people look at it and say, "Why does it say poses?" Because that's what teddy bears do. They just sit there and pose. I printed these. I screen printed these patches. I was going to embroider them. I goes, let me just print them. So I printed the patches, and then I just sewed them. Actually sewed them on. What I'm doing, I was going to go down the road of actually buying bags to put the t-shirts in, but I said to myself, no, I'll create the artwork, I'll buy the blank bags, and I'll actually make a screen, put it on the screen, and I'll actually print the bags myself. Yeah. So for the packaging, when the customer gets the shirt, it's
cool.
Everything's printed. So what's happened now is that it's quite funny. On the first drop that I did, I printed all the bags, the t-shirt bags, and I sent them off. And people sent me pictures back and forth. Like my sister-in-law actually framed So now they can't look
right.
like this.
Yeah,
Because
so
they like the character and she put it in front. I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. So I've taken my favourite character. This is Valentine.
yeah.
And he's wearing a classic. Well, this is the hat he's wearing is a beaver.
Right.
It's basically a beaver, synonymous with the American hat brand beaver. But this beaver here, it's a fur beaver, and it's synonymous with Jamaican dancehall music.
Oh,
so a lot of
okay.
the 70s reggae artists, they would wear, like in the 70s they wear suits, and they would always, most of them would have a version of a beaver.
Yeah, right.
So this character here, Valentine, he's actually wearing a style of a beaver that is very similar to the Jamaican reggae music scene from the 70s.
I reckon I have actually seen.
Yeah, that would be a finish off article from like singers like Gregory Isaacs, all like, you know, back in the day, mainstay reggae artists in the 70s, from the 70s up to early 80s, that was the head.
Yeah, right.
Head attire that they wear. So I put him in a beaver.
Oh, cool.
And basically what I'm doing now is I'm actually printing that onto a paper bag, and then putting it through. And this oil-based thing. So if it was water-based thing, I could then, once I printed it, I could then just leave it outside with a hot day, it would dry.
Yeah.
It's water-based thing. But because the inks are oil-based, they have to be cured at 160 degrees.
Right.
And this is where this oven comes in.
Yeah, okay.
The reason why most printing companies or printers use plastisol inks, oil-based inks over water-based inks, is because basically the opacity of the print is much brighter.
Yeah.
And the colours are much more vibrant. If you use a water-based ink on a dark shirt, 9 times out of 10, if it isn't a discharging, which doesn't have a bleaching agent in it, once it goes through the dryer, the colours are very dense, they're not brighter. So most printers, they've changed over to oil-based inks. You've got the organic, really cool write-on printers who say, oh, we use water-based inks because it's environmentally friendly, but that's bollocks. It's all completely changed now. Most water-based inks have more crap in them than plastisol inks, basically. And the reality of plastisol inks is once you've finished with them, with plastisol inks, they last forever. They don't really break down.
Yeah.
So I could leave a tub of plastisol ink open for like 10, 15 years and just stir it up and use it again.
Well, I got it all over me before.
If you do that with water-based inks, it just goes off.
Yeah, right.
It will,
so it's got a longer lifespan as well, so you're not wasting.
No.
Yeah,
no.
okay, cool.
But the only other side of that is that it has to be cured under 160 degrees. When I initially started doing this and like saying I was gonna like set up a t-shirt label, it was purely because on the level where I created all these characters and I wanted them to have a life, bring them to life, but bring them to life on the level where basically the next generation now, everything that I see now, for the next generation come up, it's all regurgitated, it's just recycled.